Hi, I'm Reggie from Nintendo of America, and this marks a new endeavor for Nintendo: direct video news feeds designed just for you. For this first installment, we've got some important news if you're an owner of Nintendo 3DS or just thinking of becoming one. And really, if you're neither one yet, what's wrong with you?
Hey, what's happening, guys? This is Rob of Rule of Two Review. Welcome back, and it's time to talk a little bit more about Nintendo Directs. Now, don't worry, this isn't the same kind of Nintendo Direct conversation that you might expect and that maybe a lot of other people are having right now, because there is a lot of hubbub and a lot of rumors and speculation going on right now about another Nintendo Direct happening possibly on February 13th, which is only a few days from now, the day that I'm recording this video. And it's kind of a cycle that we've seen before, and make no mistake, I am completely a part of this as well. I love making speculation videos about Nintendo Directs, or when rumors about Nintendo Directs are going on. I did it for January's last month as well. I think it's harmless, and I think it's a lot of fun, actually. So I am throwing no shade at any of my fellow YouTubers and friends out there who are discussing the possibilities of this rumor about another Nintendo Direct. But it does show what the cycle is. January comes around, everyone starts making rumors and predictions and theories about a January Nintendo Direct. January ends and we don't have a Direct, so, well, now we're in February, so let's just do the same thing all again. And of course, the current rumor comes from someone on Reddit who made a post and apparently has predicted some things in the past, and so everyone's discussing it. And it's interesting. It's like, hey, I definitely would like to see a Nintendo Direct in February, so I'm definitely not hating on the idea, but that is what the cycle is, and that is what's happening right now. But again, the conversation I want to have around Nintendo Directs today is quite different. I want to discuss how Nintendo Directs and the perception of them has changed and evolved over the years. And it's really interesting. I find it to be a curious case of gamers maybe not really understanding what they want at the times that they want them, because what I remember as somebody who's been following Nintendo since they released the NES in 1985, in the States at least, is that when Nintendo Directs first began, for the first several years, people all but hated them. I mean, I don't think that I can say that they truly hated them, but they definitely didn't enjoy them. They didn't speak positively of them, and nobody ever thought anything good came from a Nintendo Direct. I mean, seriously, for years, when I thought Nintendo Direct, all I thought was, okay, Nintendo's gonna do something, it's gonna disappoint everyone, and everyone's just gonna be talking shit about it online. And trust me, that is what happened. Now, I had to look up when the first Nintendo Direct happened, and I gotta tell you guys, according to Wikipedia, if it's accurate, it's way, way earlier than I thought. I thought the first Nintendo Direct was sometime in 2012 or 2013, but apparently, again, the first one that aired in Japan and North America on Wikipedia happened in October of 2011. Holy freaking cow. That is before the Wii U even launched. I'm sure I watched it because I've watched every Nintendo Direct, and I was definitely following it very closely at that time. I just cannot, for the life of me, remember or recall that it happened that long ago, before the Wii U itself even launched, when the 3DS was in its brand new first launch year. That just blows my mind. But you go back that far, and you go throughout the first couple of years, I would even say most of the years of the Wii U, going up to 2014, 2015, I would say. I mean, at that time, everyone was down on Nintendo Directs. They were such a new, unique concept, and I think that thematically, idealistically, people loved the idea of them. It's like, cool, Nintendo's going to give us a bunch of stuff, so let's get really excited. Nintendo, show us all these things we want. And everyone started to treat it like sort of like a mini E3 experience. And because of that, I think both to the benefit and to the detriment of Nintendo Directs, people expected the most megaton level, unbelievable announcements, confirmations of every hope and dream and wish they ever had every single time Nintendo would do one of these things. And of course, that's not how reality works, that's not how gaming works, and it's not how Nintendo works. They would have very realistically tempered 20 to 30 minute presentations about a couple of things coming out in the next couple of months. A lot of times about stuff we knew. And because people would set their expectations so astronomically, unbelievably high, they never enjoyed Nintendo Directs, and they were kind of a joke for a long time. In fact, I'll even keep it 100% legit with you guys. I will be totally transparent and honest with you, I many times also felt disappointed by Nintendo Directs back in the day. I definitely was never somebody who was super hateful or vitriolic towards them, or towards Nintendo for doing them. I always appreciated and respected the fact that Nintendo did something this cool, like just a benefit for the gamer. Hey, let us give messaging directly to you, something the other two guys are not doing. And so I always had a very positive kind of outlook on the whole idea. But I admit to falling into the trap a few times back in the day where I expected or wanted something really awesome and was expecting to be totally blown out of my socks when one happened, and a lot of times that wouldn't happen. And so yeah, I've been disappointed by some Nintendo Directs in the past. But I think it's a matter of the overall perception being what it was. And I think that a lot of people took it way, way farther than I ever did. I felt pretty like tempered in when I would be disappointed, whereas most people would be losing their minds and talking so much crap about Nintendo and just the idea of Nintendo Directs. Every time one would happen, people would basically make fun of it. They were making fun of the idea, they were making fun of Nintendo, they were making fun of the Wii U, which to be fair, a lot of people were at the time, unfortunately. And that's where, like I said, really Nintendo Directs were essentially just like a joke or almost a laughingstock for a while, and I really think that was unfair. And of course, it's made all the more ironic by the fact that nowadays, in 2019, everyone is just dying for a Nintendo Direct. Everyone expected one in January, and their hopes were high, and they couldn't wait for it. Oh my god, Nintendo, please, for the love of God, give us a Nintendo Direct. I need it into my veins. Just slap me across the face with a new Nintendo Direct. And it didn't happen in January, so everyone is just losing their minds, and now we're predicting a new one for February, and it's going to happen for March, April, May, June, July, all the way through E3, all the way through the rest of the time, as far as I can see, man. I don't see any situation that would cause this to stop. And I think it's interesting because literally only over the past 2, maybe 3 years did we start to see people finally learn to appreciate the fact that these exist and to respect Nintendo for doing it and to actively desire them. So much so that now the scales have tipped in the opposite direction, kind of unfortunately, so that instead of being mad that Nintendo gave them a Nintendo Direct they didn't like, people are getting mad Nintendo isn't giving them a Nintendo Direct at all. And it's like, oh my god, you bipolar crazy maniacs, what do you want? Make up your frickin' mind and either be a lunatic over not liking Directs or a lunatic over needing a Direct every 5 seconds to remind you of a video game that comes out next month. And while again, I'll admit to not being perfect, not being a perfect gamer or Nintendo or gaming fan, and somebody who was disappointed and upset about a few Nintendo Directs in the past, I gotta tell you, I just can't relate to people who react this way. And I think it's interesting to see how the scales have shifted. The tides have turned from what they were 5, 6, 7 years ago to what they are today. At the end of the day, I think I would still prefer the way things are today, where Nintendo is successful, their marketing is awesome, their current console is a huge hit and everyone loves it, and whenever they do Nintendo Directs, it's something that people actively want. They tend to enjoy them, they like discussing them, they like being excited for them, and they very rarely are as disappointed now as they were back in 2012 and 2013. Anyone who was around following gaming or Nintendo at that time can tell you, people were always down on Directs in 2013. And nowadays, even if people don't like them, the conversation about them being bad isn't as hateful and vitriolic and toxic as it was back in the day. And the fact that people enjoy them and do actually want them is the better option between how it was before, when people were just kind of making fun of them and Directs were just a joke, and me and a small group of people were like, hey, Directs are pretty cool, even if they don't always deliver on everything you want. Isn't it neat and cool that Nintendo does something like this? I mean, are Sony and Microsoft giving you these things? Oh, no, they're not. So why don't you yell at them for not doing them at all, as opposed to getting mad at Nintendo for giving you one that didn't have every single game you've ever wanted in your entire life? So anyway, let me bring it back down and end this video and just kind of let you guys know I'm not really like that angry about this. I just find it a little bit frustrating and hypocritical the way I've seen gamers and the industry kind of react and turn from how it used to be to how it is now. But at the same time, it's kind of a sign of just Nintendo's success. And it's definitely better to have people want them and be disappointed by not having them than to be constantly just joking about them and telling Nintendo that they're terrible and they shouldn't even do them. So anyway, in this period where we're waiting for a new Nintendo Direct, will we see one in February or March or who even knows when? I don't know, but I thought it was worthy of having this conversation because everyone has been dying for a 2019 Direct, and we're only 6 weeks into the damn year. So everyone just calm down. You know, I want a Direct too. I absolutely do. But but Nintendo will give us one when they're good and ready. They just delayed one of their biggest, most high-profile games, so they obviously are trying to restructure and fix a lot of things behind the scenes. I expect that in the next year or two, maybe even this year, we're going to hear about new hardware from Nintendo anyway. So let's give them time, man. They'll give us a Nintendo Direct when it makes sense to. So those are my thoughts. What do you guys think about this idea? Do you like Nintendo Directs? Do you not? Should they be doing them every month? Should they not? Whatever you feel, talk about this below. That is it for me. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. This is Robert for Ro2R Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.